Well, hello besties. Welcome back to the little book nook. That's not set up at all, but that would be a future problem. That'll be a future video. But today we are in dire need of a discussion about a couple books that are coming out in the spring. So let's get down to business. I have the great honor, I had the great privilege to read a couple arcs before their publication date, and I'm going to discuss them with y'all today. We got 4 books to talk about, and honestly, they are all romance of some sort. I'm going to put these books up on the screen for you along with our publication date. If what I tell you about them leads you to want to find out more about them, all the information will be linked for you. So, without further ado, I say we just get into it. I'm going to give you a little bit of a synopsis, my thoughts, my rating. As always, take it with a grain of salt. If this seems like it's right up your alley, it might just be. If it's something you would never pick up anyways, my review of it might not change that opinion. So just keep that in mind as we go along. But I can't wait to share these books with you. Our first publication is Toe to Toe by Fallon, Ballard. This one comes out March 10th, 2026. This one is about our main character, Allegra, whose dream is to be the principal dancer in her company. She has the opportunity to audition for the lead role at her company, but the catch is that the principal dancer must have sex appeal. And her director has informed her he does not think she's the right fit for it. So she ends up enlisting this professional male dancer of kind of a different variety, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, who she thinks is the sexiest man alive, and she employs him to help her prepare for this audition. That sets the stage for you. This is very prima ballerina meets Magic Mike. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the trigger warnings here. Come on, honey. Come on, companion. Oh, I bet you guys can't see him, but he's here. I'm gonna give you the trigger warnings up front here, and honestly, there is a very long introduction to the novel that kind of gives you an idea of the heavier topics that will be discussed throughout the book. This one touches on a lot of notes of harassment and assault, but the main focus, I will say most of that stuff is mentioned. The main present subject that you might want to be wary of is that our female main character's boss is harassing her throughout the book. This is like a main point of contention between our characters. I'm trying to be vague because if you are gonna read it, I don't want to like tell you every single detail, but I just often felt like she wasn't as respectful of him as he was of her. And so there's a little bit of an imbalance there. But yeah, she is a ballerina in the dance world. So just know that that is like discussed. Also what she eats is discussed quite a bit. So just have those things in mind. And I'm sure you can look up the letter that's at the beginning of the book before buying it. If I can link it, I will link that as well along with the book. I think the biggest strength of this novel is really that they have a good amount of chemistry. I don't know that it pushes further than that, but you can really feel the tension between them, the chemistry that they embody. And I think if you really enjoy this particular niche, which like I grew up dancing, so I think if you really love Magic Mike, Center Stage, the very niche Step Up, this one might be something you just enjoy because the concept is really well done. But at the heart of it, I didn't really feel fulfilled by this romance. I didn't feel like it did anything unique that felt like a must read. So nothing new here, but if that sounds promising to you, then I definitely think you will enjoy. Our next book is Deathly Fates by Tesia, Tsai. This book comes out April 14th, 2026. This one is a YA fantasy with inspiration from Chinese folklore. This one is a debut novel, and it centers a corpse-driving priestess. So it's a kind of a form of necromancy, but our priestess has the job of transporting dead bodies to their home to be properly laid to rest. In our story, our priestess's father is ill, and so she is doing everything she can, taking every job possible to try and make enough money to save his life and find a healer for him. She is commissioned for a very well-paying job to go find a lowly foot soldier and bring him back to the palace. Turns out this is no average Joe, this is no average foot soldier. She ends up going on an adventure with this half-alive foot soldier to save his chi and bring him back to life fully. So I think this one was honestly really well done, especially for a debut. I really love this overall concept and the Chinese folklore and knowledge that is spread throughout the story. This is definitely an author that I can't wait to see more from. And I honestly loved the kind of reverse Grumpy Sunshine golden retriever thing that we had going on throughout the story. I will say my one thing is this is a little simple, and it is YA, so keep that in mind. Like I'm saying, for me, it felt a little bit simple. It didn't really blow my mind. I wanted there to be a little bit more happening, but I do think if you're a big fan of slow burn, closed door, YA, romance set in a fantastical world that is well done, this might be your ticket. I think what was hard for me is I have read a lot in this type of genre, and I am obviously not the key audience for this book. So it didn't do anything outside of this formula that made it show-stopping and unforgettable for me. But looking back on having read this, I actually think the folklore is the most fun part, and I didn't feel bored while reading it, but I didn't feel like over the top, edge of my seat excited either. So take that how you will. I gave this one a 3.25. Next, releasing on the same day, April 14th, 2026, is Don't Tell Me How It Ends by Adrienne Thurman. This is also a debut author. Our main character in this one is a love hater. She wants no part in romance. She is big on the one night stand. This is definitely adult romance, and it is not closed door. Our main character, Kaya, is very headstrong. I'm trying to use my words carefully because I feel like she is a bit of a unlikable character. I think she's very steadfast in her ways, and it doesn't matter how much the people who love her try to help her, she has to figure out how to help herself. So if you have a hard time with kind of unlikable female leads, this one might not be for you. But on the other side of the coin, we have Ro, who is my new coined, knighted book boyfriend. I love this man, and I'm not afraid to say it. I think she really grasped a time in life that was interesting, of kind of being post-grad, but not quite sure what life looks like afterward, and having family expectations and family dynamics weighing heavily on you. On another hand, I also feel like the ending kind of started to steamroll ahead, and it was kind of weird because like the third quarter was a little slow pacing wise, and then boom, the story's over, everything's wrapped up, and I just wanted like a little bit of a better flow throughout. But again, this is a debut author, and I truly think she is bringing something refreshing to the table. So I'm excited to see what else she does, because I think she can improve on that. And then before you know it, she's going to be one of all of our favorite authors. But anyways, I digress. I think the story had stunning banter. It delivered on a new-ish concept, and I felt entertained throughout most of it. Again, there is like that little part towards the end and the beginning, but we got there, and I just need other people to go fall in love with Ro. that's all I need. So again, I am a proponent of you picking this up, but depends on if that sounds of interest to you. And lastly, coming out on April 21st, 2026 is Flirting with Murder by Amanda Zettel. This one is a YA cozy mystery romance that takes place in Florida with a retirement community. Our main characters are young high schoolers, and they each go to visit their respective grandparents at this community where they do murder mystery theater shows. And they end up getting more than they bargained for that summer because an actual murder takes place. I do have to shout out her book, By the Book. I loved that, and I was so excited to get to read this arc because many moons ago I read that one and fell in love with her work. Unfortunately, this one just did not hit for me. I feel like we were meandering a lot around the point, not to it. And I think it lacked like the punch of a whodunit and the like banter fleshing out of a little relationship. I think the parts of the story that were worthwhile were really the cast of characters, the kind of goofy, fun setting, but I just felt like our sleuths weren't doing enough. It left something to be desired. I felt like the pacing was not totally there for me, and I just couldn't 100% endorse this one. For me, I think it's gonna end up being very forgettable, and I just finished it this week and I'm still like, I can't even fully remember how it ended. It just wasn't for me. Again, this one is not for my demographic. It is a YA novel, and I would say this is even more YA than Deathly Fates that I spoke about earlier. I think maybe if you gave it to a 13-year-old, it would work for them. And at this point in my life, it just wasn't gonna work for me. But I ended up giving this one a 2.75. And if I forgot to mention it prior, I gave Don't Tell Me How It Ends a 3.5. Those are a few books to look out for going into spring. The two that I would recommend most highly, again, up to you based on the synopsis, my review, you can go look at other reviews, but the two I would consider picking up are Deathly Fates and Don't Tell Me How It Ends. I don't know if either are necessarily like must reads, but again, I think this is the best of the arcs I've been reading lately. In other news, I did get the arc for Catherine Center's book that comes out in May, The Shippers. I am 15% of the way in, and it really has like her classic tone. So if you tend to like her, so far it really has her classic voice. And I do think she writes very rom-com-esque stories. So I like a little bit of goofiness. I think if it's handled well, it's worth the read. But if you'd like to hear more of what I think on that, make sure you leave me a comment and let me know you want my review. Like always, I do link all my socials that I leave reviews on, Goodreads, Storygraph, and usually my Instagram story. So if any of those speak to you, you can see those there, or I'm happy to make some more videos around it. And I just got, oh my gosh, y'all, today, day of release, Cara Stone's new book, No Matter What. Libby hooked me up and got that to my front door, to my inbox. So I will be reading more romance. Shocker, shocker, sock rocker. And I will be telling you how I feel about it. But in the meantime, let me know what you're reading. Let me know if any of these are in your TBR. And make sure you leave a heart. That's the color of the book you're reading right now. Leave that below. And as always, I love you. I gotta leave you. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.